Hello everyone. Welcome to day 49 of learning data science. And till now, what we have discussed, we have completed the EDA part, we have completed the Python. Also, we have discussed about the one technique, which is 3R technique in treating the outliers. So basically, we have discussed all those things. And today, what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss the second thing, the second step, which is pertaining to outliers treatment, outliers analysis. Okay. So basically, we are going to discuss the second step. And what is the second step? Our second step is Winsorization. And obviously, we will going to discuss the third and fourth step as well. Okay. So this will be the theory. And tomorrow, what we will be doing? We will be importing one data set and we will be trying implementing those steps. Okay. In that particular data sets, right? So what I will do, I will just go here. Okay. So basically, the second step when we talk about handling the outliers, outliers treatment and analysis. Okay. When we talk about outliers treatment or analysis, so basically yesterday, three steps are there. Okay. What's happening? Three steps are there. Okay. The first step with respect to outliers treatment is 3R technique. 3R 3R technique is there, and in 3R technique, we discussed about. I want you to comment it on the comment section what all techniques we have discussed about the 3Rs technique. Okay, so what are those? It's rectify, retain, and remove. And we have discussed these things in detail. What do you mean by rectify? What do you mean by remove? And what do you mean by these things? Okay, we have discussed it already in detail yesterday. And what's the second step? Second step is winsorization. Winsorization. And what is the third step in pertaining to outliers treatment is training. Okay, training. Fourth step is masking. Fifth step is swamping. Okay, so we are going to discuss today winsorization, trimming, masking, swamping. Okay, we are going to discuss this. What do you mean by winsorization? Okay, so if there is any outliers in your data, so what will we do? We take 5% value of entire data If the outlier is less than minimum, then we replace it by 5% value. If the outlier is more than max, then we replace it by 95% value of entire data. Okay. So we will discuss these things. And to discuss this thing, first, what I have to do, I have to draw one box plot here. Okay. Again, what is the box plot? The primary purpose of box plot is to identify the outliers. I hope everyone have seen my box plot video. If not, then go and certainly watch it. Otherwise, you won't be able to understand those steps, whatever I am explaining it now. Okay. So if you would recall, basically what's this? This is the minimum. This is the minimum threshold, right? This is the maximum threshold, the maximum value. Okay. This is the minimum. This is maximum. This is Q1. This is Q2. This is Q3, right? So these are the values. And if there is an outlier, then I've explained that outliers will appear in the bubble shape like this. Bubble shape. If the outlier is in minimum, the bubble shape will be like this, inside minimum. And if it's outside the minimum, then it will be like this, the minimum. Okay. So these all things were there. And also one more thing, we discussed about the Six Sigma rule. Okay. we discussed about the Six Sigma rule. Okay. So for example, this is my distribution. This is normal distribution. Okay. Bell-shaped graph is there. Okay. A bell-shaped graph is there. So what we have discussed it, we discussed if we divide the values, so this is -6, -6, this is -5, -5, okay, 6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so these values are there. Let me correct the graph once. So these values are there. Okay, this is the graph. Our graph is like this. Okay. So our graph is like this, and we move on to the values. So you can see it. These are the values. Again, when we consider, when we draw, when we will draw the line here, okay, when we will draw the line, each line here, from here, from here, from here. So this we have discussed in the standard scaling thing. I'm just revising. so that you can understand. Okay. In detail, if you want to understand these things, you can go and watch. Okay. So what we have learned is, okay, from here to here, from -6 to +6, the value was 100% we are covering the data. 100% we are covering the data. If you are moving from -5 to +5, then 99 point 9999 data is there. Okay. Similarly, if we will move the step closer, so the percentage will decrease. These all things we have discussed already. So why I'm discussing all things? These are all the outliers. These are the outliers. Okay. So if the outlier is less than minimum, if the outliers is less than minimum, if the outliers is this, and if the outliers is less than maximum, greater than maximum. So what we are going to do, we are going to replace it by 95% of data. If you could recall it, from here to here, what is there? It is 25. Okay. From here to here, it's 50. From here to here, from here to here, it's 75. Okay. And ultimately, if we will take from here to here, it's 100. It's 100. So somewhere or the around the 5% of my value, the 5% value will lie here itself, here itself, the 5%, and the 95% of data will lie here itself, here, here. Okay. This is my 95% of data, this particular value, and this is basically the 5%. Okay. Okay. So this is basically the 5% of data. So what we are doing, this 5% of entire data from here, from here, okay, we are taking the average and we are putting instead of these outliers. And instead of maximum, what we are doing, we are taking this entire data, this entire data, 95%, my bad, this entire data. You can rewind the video. This graph looks like little messy. So you can rewind it. You can watch it again. Okay. So this many data, the shaded portion, the shaded portion in green, it's 95%. Okay. The shaded portion in green, it's 95% of the data. Okay. So what's this? This is basically our 95% of data. 95% of data. And 95% of data, 95% of data, we are replacing the value. We are replacing the outliers with this particular 95% of data. And with respect to 5% of data, the 5% of data will contain from here, the 5% of data will contain from here. Here, this means this is 5%. This is basically 5%, 5%. This is basically 5% of data, and this 5% of data, we will replace the outliers with this value. Okay. So basically in Winsorization, what we are doing, instead of if my outliers is below my minimum value, so we are executing those values with my 5% of data. With my 5% of data, I'm executing those values. Whatever my 5% of data will be there, I will be executing those. And with the maximum, we are executing this 5%. This 5% data which is there. This 5%. And for the minimum, we are executing this 5%. Okay, this 5% we are executing it. And for maximum, we are executing this 5% of data. Okay. So in short, we are treating the outliers by removing the outliers, and instead of outliers, we are putting the values. That is what we call it Winsorization. Okay, so I hope Winsorization is being understood by you. Winsorization, basically, I repeat what it does, it replaces the values. If my outlier is below the minimum, then it will represent the 5% of data which is here. 5% of data which is here. It will replace the value with minimum. If it's again in maximum, then the 5% of data here, the 95%, basically the 5% of data which is here, it will replace the value. Okay. So I hope you have understood it, basically what is there. And again, how you can see these outliers. You can see these outliers with the help of the box plot. Okay. And now when you will move forward with trimming, basically what is trimming? So what is trimming? So basically trimming means trimming means if the outliers are values which is less than 5% and values greater than 95%. Greater than 95%, what we are doing to this particular thing, we are removing it. Okay, we are removing it. We are removing this value. We are trimming this value, values which is less than. We are not implementing the average. We are not implementing, instead of outliers, we are taking the 5% of the values, and instead of outliers, we are putting those values. No, we are simply cutting it. We are simply removing it. So by the term itself, trimming, you can understand trimming means trim, just like a trimmer. We are removing the values. Okay. So here we come to a stop. Okay. We have discussed about Winsorization. We have discussed about trimming. Tomorrow we will discuss with masking, swamping, and some of few other techniques. So till then, keep practicing it and keep working. Be focused. Bye bye. Take care. Jai Hind.